Go back to this painting William discovered in the Capitol Dome one more time, because this painting in the Capitol Dome correlates to the street layout in Detroit. You'll see that in a minute. This is apotheosis of George Washington, and George Washington, he's been risen to a God-man. He is now a God-man. What Dr. Mark Gray and William discovered is that the artist Constantine Bermudi also incorporated sacred geometry within this painting. All kinds of it. But relevant to our talk today, the pentagram and the pentagon. And, well, I mentioned it earlier, that this painting is circled by a gateway of 72 stars. But what I didn't mention yet is that the interior angles of the pentagram and the pentagon are also the sacred number 72. So in Detroit, when we see all this pentagram and pentagon symbolism, we can think of the sacred 72 as being everywhere. But there's a lot more correlation than that between the painting and the street layout. This is what I mean. If you look at the map of Detroit on the left, at the base of Augustus Woodward's ancient pinnacle emerges a pentagonal-shaped building with a pentagonal-shaped pyramid, underneath of which is a rainbow bridge. Right out front, right below it, is a sculpture of freedom. And freedom is looking down. This is Detroit's point of origin. And then you move to a painting in our capital, Apotheosis of Washington. The base of this pentagram is a rainbow bridge. Below it, once again, is freedom. Just like freedom over there to the left. Freedom in Washington, they're looking down at this golden dot. This is Washington, D.C.'s point of origin. Exact symbolism laid out within the street layouts of Detroit as within this painting in the Capitol Dome of our country. So Stargate Detroit. This is a cosmic temple, and it incorporates an incredible amount of Stargate Egyptian mythological symbolism. It's a cosmic connection point between the earthly and the heavenly realms, between the stars and the cosmos. So one last time, let's put all of these puzzle pieces together and see what we come up with. Came across the pentagon and the pentagram, rainbow bridge, cosmic deities, birdmen, pale prophets, and godmen, and of course the sacred 72. So what we're going to do now is go through each one of these cities, just a brief recap, and see where these symbols turned up. Cahokia Mountains, we have the pentagon and the pentagram, and I didn't point this out, but the pentagram is actually pointing to Mount 72. We also found, of course, the gateway arch looks like a rainbow bridge, and within it there's rainbow bridge symbolism. And the cosmic deity was the birdman, as well as the pale prophet. And as far as 72, well, it's everywhere. There's Woodhender's 72 red cedar post, Mount 72, which had 272 burials. Washington, D.C., pentagram symbolism within the street layouts, and then you can zoom into the temple area right within the Capitol Dome. There's more pentagon, pentagram symbolism. The rest of the symbols can be found in that painting. Of course, George Washington, he is the God-man. The rainbow bridge, George Dryden, and it's encircled by a gate of 72 stars. Gotta point this out. Cahokia Mountains urban layout, when compared to Washington, D.C., it's identical. Not only were they both aligned to the four cardinal directions, but when you zoom in on them, the temple centers were laid out with pentagon and pentagram symbolism. Could Thomas Jefferson have recognized this fact? Is there any way Jefferson could have realized what the Cahokians were doing? Pure speculation on my part. But he did send his buddy, Justice Augustus Woodward, to Detroit, who did this. Incorporated the exact same symbolism here in Detroit. Into the streets, we have it in the buildings, we have it in the cars. Even if you zoom into our literal point of origin marker, it's right inside of that. It's everywhere. And of course, the rainbow bridge was underneath that pentagonal-shaped pyramid. And The cosmic deity is Detroit's old Birdman, Horus. The Sacred 72 is found everywhere here in Detroit with the interior angles of the pentagon and the pentagram. So, is it possible? Is it possible that as we come into alignment with our galactic center, the Rainbow Bridge, the gateway between the earthly and the heavenly realms could re-emerge, and cosmic deities, godmen, birdmen, and the archetypes thereof could reappear? And would this reappearance take place within sacred landscapes laid out in accordance with the cosmic pentagram? Or another possibility, as we achieve galactic alignment, could it be our inner rainbow bridges, our chakra systems, that are being activated within our pentagram proportioned bodies, propelling us as individuals into cosmic deities, God men or God women? Or, like I said, my favorite answer, maybe both. Maybe both. And then corresponding and intertwined with all of that symbolism, we're finding the symbol of the Stargate and the gateway, and even portals, pointing to what I believe to be an undeniable cosmic connection, right here in our parks, in our cities, on planet Earth. Ancient sacred landscapes, cosmic temples, urban portals. What does all this mean? What's it mean for us? What's it mean for us personally? Well, when we start looking at these cities and these monuments, we start viewing them in a new light and from a new perspective. That's a huge personal transformation in of itself. These ancient sacred sites, as well as the modern cosmic temples, these are connection points where we can go and connect. And the combinational experience we can get from doing this, from visiting the ancient sites in conjunction with the modern ones, sometimes on the same day if we would like, this is like a time machine experience. We flip to the past, we be in the moment, we're in the present, and if we're lucky, we might catch glimpses of our futures. And maybe most important, when we start to begin to follow the path, these monuments, this architecture are leading us on, down the trail of synchronicity, even archetypes and symbolism. This can result in a sense of relationship to the cosmic flow of the universe. It's like we are part of that cosmic flow. We're on the road to achieving cosmic consciousness, becoming cosmic star beings. So personally, I feel that as we come into alignment with our galactic center, we maybe start discovering our points of origins. And if we're lucky, the keys that could unlock the doors of return. And now is our time to begin scaling the shimmering path of the gods, the Rainbow Bridge, in hopes of reaching for our star dreams. And as we reach for the stars, becoming cosmic beings and bright like the sun, we too can become catalysts for cosmic consciousness and change. Cosmic consciousness is contagious. Cosmic consciousness is contagious. So today, with this newfound wisdom, I would like to say, just like Dr. Martin Luther King said back in the 60s, we now have the opportunity to start carving tunnels of hope in the mountains of despair, transforming dark yesterdays into bright tomorrows. This is something we can do. And I say we can start it right here, right now and today, on our walking tour even, by recognizing, utilizing, and transcending the gateways to freedom.
In other words, overcoming dying.
Overcoming it. And that is Stargate Detroit. Thank you so much, everyone.